Our big topic is about Malay language issue on teenagers nowadays. Are the teenagers today still want to save our national language or not? But most of the teenagers today like to use English more than Malay language.
Nek.
Oi.
Kau kacau ni lah.
Đánh trai lại. Ôi,
Ayah, anything you choose lah, cincai lah.
please follow them action.
Itu mempersiasat kami cannot.
Shock sendiri lah. Number lah bro.
See, level 200.
Wah, then Carol lah you.
Apa then? Dah makan ni. Kau makan apa?
Aku mau makan nasi ayam sama dessert special lah. Kau mau makan nasi goreng pattaya sama Milo ais lah. Kak? Please, order dulu. Makan lah, mereka tunggu ni. Lek. Apa dah dulu kita? Cepatlah, cepat. Jom lah bayar sudah. Dah rasa apa-apa kan? Tidak. Okay. Sini lah cepat. Kita waktu something tak? Apa lagi? Aku ada 4 ringgit tak? Apalah, aku ada. Ayah ada 4.30 je. Jangan dulu, okay? Okay. Jom lah bayar. Jom dulu lah. Okay, boleh.
Hello?
Hello?
You di mana ni?
Pendui sudah.
I dah sampai dah.
Ya.
I di bawah ni.
Okay.
Hey, cepatlah. Lambat sudah ni.
Klik.
Okay lah.
Bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum. Hello, sis.
Hello guys. Masuklah ke rumah I. Buat macam aku dulu. Okay, masuk.
Okay.
Guys, sinilah. Kita stay dalam bilik. Tak best lah stay sini. Sini, cepat. Okay.
Hello, what is your name?
My name is Muhammad Adnan bin Desmond.
Yes. I want to ask you, what do you think about teenagers that say Malay language is trash?
In my opinion, I think that the teenagers must have the education first. Because why? Because if they study in the correct ways, they will not say that Malay language is a trash. Because first of all, we are as Malaysian citizens should have responsible to protect our national language. So that's why I think that they must educate themselves first before saying those words.
Alright, thank you. Hello, what is your name?
My name is Bia.
Okay, Bea, I want to ask you one question.
Okay.
Do you think it's cool teenagers nowadays like to mixing Malay language with other language?
Let me think. I think it's not cool. Teenagers do that kind of thing and action. This is because when teenagers mix between Malay language with other language, it will destroy the beauty of our language, which is Malay language. And I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Bea. Hello, what is your name?
My name is Kina.
Okay, Gina, I want to ask you some question. Do you prefer use English or Malay language when you communicate with other people?
I prefer to use Malay language to communicate with other people because it is our national language. So it is easy for me to communicate with people.
Hello and good morning everyone. My name is Tredi Verens Charles Tilus and I will be the moderator of this group discussion. Our big topic today is about Malay language issue. As we know, Malay language is the official language and widely used in our country. Furthermore, the Malay language is also used as a tool to to increase unity in our country. Furthermore, however, most of the teenagers nowadays often mix Malay language with other languages such as English. This issue needs to be curbed seriously to keep our national language from being damaged. Furthermore, the Malay language also needs to be dignified to make it more quality and able to compete with other languages in the world. So, we will discuss about ways to dignify the Malay language among teenagers nowadays. Here we have two panels. The first panel is Miss Avila and the second panel is Miss So, without wasting our time, we will start our discussion with the first root of our real topic. The question is, why are teenagers nowadays more inclined to use English even when sending messages to their colleges or family? For me, of course, it is not an illegal thing at all, but little by little, it can affect the use of our Malay language. So, I want to ask Miss Bella, what do you think about this case?
Thank you, Mr. Tredi, for that mind-building questions. In my opinion, teenagers nowadays tend to follow the Western trends. They think they should copy all the Western lifestyle, even fashion sense and their culture. Of course, it is not wrong to have a desire to copy someone, but there must be a limit in order to keep our own identity as a Malaysian citizen. Speaking and writing in English can make someone look sophisticated and well-educated, especially when they are using a high level of English accent and vocabulary. Fortunately, I can see many teenagers in Malaysia now can perform really well, specifically in giving English speech, joining spelling bee competition, STEM program, and English debate on the state, country, and even national level. Unfortunately, when it comes to give speech, debate, or poetry in Malay language, only 20% of them can perform really well, and some of them might need a lot of practice to gain their confidence and even polish their skill to be fluent in Malay language, while the rest of them might have zero attention or skill about it. So I think teenagers now haven't realized yet that Malay language can be cool and sophisticated too if they learn more bombastic words, also practice speech a lot to make it sound really professional but also look naturally on their own way. So right now, Malay language are very critical. So it is very important for teenagers to start embrace their own national language to bring out the best of Malay language on the eyes of the world. That's all my opinion.
Thank you, Ms. Avila, for a wonderful piece of advice and explanation about these issues that still going on among teenagers nowadays. I agree with all your opinion, and even if the teenagers nowadays are more advanced in English, they should prioritize Malay language too to keep our national language slowly disappear as the year change and other culture influence expand from time to time. So, I think we must ask the second panel too, because different people have different perspective and different opinion about this. So, Miss Umi, how about your opinion about this case, about teenagers using more English language than Malay language?
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Chetty, for the question just now. First, I just want to say I am completely agree with Ms. Avila's opinion just now, but I also want to add more about it. In addition to following Western trend, we can also see from the educational aspect from parents since childhood who like to give their children with books, songs, and children's entertainment in English instead of Malay. In fact, nowadays we can see children's entertainment like Cocomelon being preferred over local children's shows. This is because parents think words in English are more easier to pronounce than words in Malay. This culture also still applies until now, which is the reason why teenagers are not fluent in Malay. When they are used to speaking using English since childhood, this is also the reason why today's teenagers are more fluent in English than Malay. Besides, the use of slangs cannot be separate from today's society. This slang language has existed since several years ago when the use of English mixed with Malay, and this is caused teenagers nowadays lack of vocabulary in Malay. Among other reasons that we can say is public thinking that English is an international language of communication that we can use all over the world. It cannot be denied that it cannot be denied that English is language that we use to speak all over the world, but they don't realize that Malay is our national language that we should proud of, dignify and preserve until the end of the time to create a legacy for the future so that it does not extinct with time. Thank you, Mr. Charlie.
Alright, Ms. Umi, thank you. I am very agree with all your opinion. This is indeed proven and cannot be denied anymore. We can see most of the parents nowadays often expose the English language to their children, such as children's stories and children's songs. As Umi said earlier, the use and exposure of the English language at the children's age can allow them to not be fluent in Malay language. Yes, of course, this is not wrong, but it can affect the Malay language in the future. So this matter should be taken seriously by all to avoid damage of Malay language. So I want to ask Ms. Bella, in your opinion, can this problem contain, and what are the best way to dignify Malay language to make it more better?
Alright, thank you, Mr. Tredi, for that interesting questions. First of all, yes, of course this problem can be contained. Everything should start from family to society. So let's see. Family are the most influential and close person to a child who will become a teen. Let's say if the family make their kids talk in English, but at the same time also making them understand the importance of speaking in Malay language. This kind of act can assure a teen to keep on using Malay language more often than English language. Plus, parents should expose their kids to the use of grammatized Malay language in different aspects such as poem, kids storybooks, educational song, and so on. The exposure of it can instill a spirit of love to the beauty of the Malay language among the teenagers now. On the other side, when it comes to society, they should provide some cool activities or competition among the neighborhood that present the importance of Malay language. But as per my experience, I can say as a teen, I see some of my friends and even their friends are still a bit stubborn because they show zero interest in this kind of things. I can agree too that it is a bit old school things, but at least some of them who are really keen into those activity will join in and show really good performance of using Malay language. Because of that, I think the best way society can give an impact to the teenager by placing Malay language as they prioritize is by social media itself. We know that the year of 2022 are the year of technology rising, and people will always have something to post or share on the internet. So I think society should use Malay language as many as possible for their posting caption. But the kind of Malay language should be in the right form. So next, society who are influential enough, such as an artist, teacher, tutor, or a singer, they can also share some educational things about the right way to use Malay language. I believe that most of the teenagers will see that post. If it's really be shown in a creative and unique way, they will take some time to stop and read the messages. It's not even impossible if one day Malay language will be used by other countries too. And it will somehow become a trend on the other countries. And so here I want to point out, slowly but surely, teenage will adapt to this new situation and start to use Malay language often as it become their norm to make sure that Malay language is still on top of other language and they will take care of it real bad. That's all my opinion about it.
Thank you, Miss Avila, for a meaningful opinion and explanation. Yes, I agree with all your opinion on how to dignify Malay language. The dignity of the Malay language must be start with the family first. Exposure to the Malay language to the children from an early age can make the Malay language more powerful. So then I am interested with Miss Avila's opinion on technology. I believe that today's increasingly advanced technology is able to dignify the Malay language in various ways, such as using the Malay language on social media and so on. As we can see nowadays, most of the teenagers have their own social media. And in my mind, there are many more ways that can be done to dignify Malay language. So I will ask Miss Umi about other ways to dignify Malay language to make it more better.
Thank you, Mr. Tredi. As we know, teenagers often use ungrammatical Malay language in their daily conversation, and we often see it during conversation on social media. Just like Mr. Tredi said, they also have their own social media such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. The ungrammatical use of Malay language is not only in terms of the use of incorrect nouns or punctuation, but mixing the use of Malay and English in one sentence. This causes the level of the youth mastery of Malay language to remain at an encouraging levels because these actions seem as if they are not serious about the ethics of using the correct Malay language. This use is given the term slang or rojak language, like we always hear in Malaysia. So this language should be eliminated so it does not expose to the future generation to continue this language. So apart from that, Malay language teachers play a very important role to fostering the interest of teenagers to deepen their knowledge of Malay language. This is because the task of Malay language teachers is to change the thinking of the students to be attracted to Malay language compared to English language, because teenagers now glorify their fluency in English more than speaking their own mother tongue. Malay teachers can succeed these efforts by creating interesting activities that will attract students to learn Malay together. For example, providing attractive and lucrative prizes for the winners of organized competition, such as poems, speeches, remix speaking, and so on. I think that's all.
Thank you, Miss Umi, for an amazing opinion and explanation. So here I have the general ways to dignify Malay language. But Malay language is not only declared the official language used in certain government council and ritual, but it also needs to be made the national language that become the representative language for racial harmony in Malaysia. The selection of the Malay language as the representative of the race should be not judged as an effort to harmonize this language with other races, but it has become a common language of the majority and is well known and root to be used as an introduction in any large country.
Yes, Mr. Tredy, I agree with that. I also want to add some that the Malay language used to be the main medium in all Malay canons and legislation, especially in the Malay Sultan of Malacca. It is appropriate that the Malay language has long been used in the Malaysian legal system. If countries such as Japan, Indonesia, and Europe use the majority language and the mother tongue as a judicial introduction, why not us, right? Yes, that's right, Mrs. Tredy. I agree with you, and I want to add some, which is the Malay language used to be the main medium in all Malay canons and the legislation, especially in the Malay Sultan of Malacca. It is appropriate that the Malay language has long been used in the Malaysian legal system. If countries such as Japan, Indonesia, and Europe use the majority language and the mother tongue as a judicial introduction, why not us, right? Okay.
Right. So I want to ask, what is the importance to be on dignifying Malaysia language among teenagers?
Thank you. So, one of the importance of Malay language being dignified among teenagers is as a symbol of identity. As I have told it before, Malay language has been recognized as the national language and as the official language, as well as the main language of instruction. It is a symbol of the identity of the citizen and as a symbol of Malaysian on the world stage. The Malay language acts as a certificate of the identity of the Malaysian nation in order to fulfill the purpose of progress according to its own model as outlined in Vision 2020. That's all.
Thank you, Miss Avila, for your wonderful opinion. So, how about your opinion, Miss Umi?
Thank you, Mr. Tredy. On my opinion, Malay is the language of racial unity. The variety of functions of the Malay language also has its own significance, where the Malay language is very important to uniting the races in Malaysia. Malay being made the national language and becoming the official language of the country show that there is a spirit of one Malaysia that is highlighted there. According to the Minister of Information, Communication and Culture, Datuk Sri Dr. Rais Yatim, there is no other language in Malaysia that you can unite all the people in this country. This is because the Malay language is the easiest language to be understood by all levels of society, and the majority of population in this country are Malay, which is more than 50% of other races, and the Malay language has been used since the beginning. That is before the arrival of Chinese and Indians in Malaya. When Malaya was visited by Chinese and Indians, the Malay language played a role as a language of unity. The Chinese and Indians are ready to use the Malay language as a language of unity between various races. I think that's my opinion.
Thank you, Miss Umi, for your opinion. I also have my idea about this. In order to foster racial unity in our country, the country's education policy has been made to unite students of different races under one national education system by using the national language as the medium of instruction. However, progress in this direction should be implemented gradually and should not be forced suddenly. Based on the education policy that has been made, can form racial unity in this country. Even in Rahman Talib's 1960 report, the position of primary school was changed to national school and national types. The main purpose of this position change is to strengthen racial unity in this country while further strengthening the position of Malay language gradually in the national education system. Finally, from the discussion that has been done, we can note that the use of project language is one of the factors in the decline of the dignity of the Malay language. In order to dignify the Malay language, all parties must diversify the Malay language in every business. Eliminate the attitude of looking down of the use of Malay language, and use the Malay language as the medium in every learning school, university or college. This is the end of our talk show. We hope that all of us can gain something from this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Boleh lanjut asal ada tuan Mbak. Okey, silakan.